Hey everyone, thanks for
Monday.
joining us on our Monday Market Update. We are the Hatch Homes Group. And so we're in the final countdown towards the end of the year. And I know we've talked about predictions a bit, but we wanted to dive deeper on what next year is going to look like because a lot of our clients are asking us that right now. So we've been on a lot of masterminds and end of year, economists, presentations. So a lot of this data we're going to go over is from Buffini and NAR. But anyhow, we thought, how can we talk about what it's going to look like in the future unless we know what it looked like today? What did 2021 look like? So buyers, who were our buyers of 2021?
Wow.
Yeah. And 41% of buyers searched online for homes before looking in person. Now, this is taken from a survey that National Association of Realtors do every year. They survey thousands of buyers or sellers, and this statistic is a little low in our opinion, but that's what they've come up with. It's interesting that we've come through a year of 2020 was less showing homes and not so many people going to open houses. This year they've come back and visiting open houses more, but still a lot of people
online most of the time, right? So that seems a little low, but it's hard to get an accurate reading of who.
I think it also depends what age group and things like that. So I can see that based off of that. I think important one is 94% of buyers were satisfied with the home buying process. I say that because how many horror stories are we hearing right now? How many people tell you, oh my gosh, I wrote 11 offers and I feel so beat up, but ultimately, and we know this from our clients, everyone's pretty happy they got into a home. You feel like champion, getting into a home in this market. And of course we really try to make the process fantastic. That's our goal. But then 34% of all buyers were first-time home buyers, and that's an increase from 2020. And that really makes sense because, people were actually able to save a little bit more in 2020. So they can, so a lot of first-time home buyers were able to save and then, move up. And some got raises, and then some of them were okay, this is my time. Interest rates are low. I need to do this.
So especially when home, the idea and concept of home had kind of shaped and changed in 2020 when we were locked down.
Yes.
So I think the motivation was there, especially with interest rates, like you said. And so it's been an interesting year, a couple years for that.
Yeah, home has changed.
And I think with the competitiveness, I think that, when people are feeling that way, it has a lot to do with them looking at the top of their price range already. So that's how the competition gets a little bit tighter, and it comes down to factors like their down payment and looking at the top of their price range. So when you meet with us and we talk about a strategy, we really want to set you up for success, and that will come into play about how to make your offer super competitive. With that, the median down payment, I think a lot of people think you need to have 20%, but look at those. Johnny, you were going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, all buyers across the board was an average of 13%, and first-time home buyers 7%. I think that it was interesting that it's lower than 20.
Yeah, none of them are 20%.
Repeat buyers and for everyone in general.
Yeah, because everyone thinks you have to have 20% down, and you don't. And this shows it.
And most people don't. Yeah. So
that's our buyers. And then I think that we'll see some of those similar trends next year too. But sellers profile. Who were the sellers in 2021?
Yeah. And the average equity a seller had in their home was $85,000. Now, that's increased. And, we hear and we've seen some people having growth this year in their equity equivalent to the average salary. It's been amazing in some areas and some price ranges. But that's the average. This is a national number.
Yeah, that adds to the motivation, right?
Invest in real
Right.
estate.
Mhm. Yeah, you know, and most of the homes sold for 100% of the asking price or more. Probably in Portland, it's closer to like 102, right? But this
Single
national,
family homes in Portland was 102%.
yeah, yeah. So there's, you know, a lot of people out there thinking, I think a lot of people think you can get a bargain, you can lowball offers, but this statistics really shows you that no, I mean, so it's a seller's market, and lowballing an offer just isn't competitive and isn't going to win when they're getting the majority, like 100% of their asking price overall.
Yeah. So the majority of sellers are trading up, which we've definitely experienced. 46% purchased a larger home. I mean, that was huge for COVID. People needed more space. They needed home offices. 61% purchased a newer home. 48% purchased a more expensive home. And this, I think, is going to be continue on into 2022. This will be a major motivation and trend for sellers. And then top reasons for selling.
Yeah, the biggest top reasons for selling would kind of seem a little obvious when you think about COVID and everything, with the home being too small, like you're saying, Angela, getting that home office, and then get closer to those loved ones, the friends and the family. And, you know,
Your
pod. And, you know, a lot of neighborhoods became less desirable.
Yeah.
For various reasons.
And these are national, right? But this is, we feel this.
Definitely
Portland. Yeah.
I was talking to my daughter in England this morning, and she was talking about the big craze in England is that to have a snug room, which is like a family room in the States. But so many families, like they're competing for the TV. They need 2 areas for adults and kids.
Yeah.
Snug room. I like that.
Snug room. Yeah.
Snug room. That's cute. Let's point it here.
That's cute. So yeah, the next thing we want to talk about again is mortgage stats.
Yeah.
I think that's big.
Yeah, I think a big observation here is there's not been a tremendous change in interest rates for a long time, but right now we're at a super low. I think this, and we're going to talk about predictions in our next video, and we'll see that that's not going to stay low. And I think most people realize that. In fact, the mortgage industry is going through some changes, and where they're seeing a drop off of refinances because the interest rates are as low as they're going to be. And so, yeah, anyone who hasn't refinanced and is not selling their home, then they should take advantage of this.
Kind of now or never, right? I mean, not never say never, but like now is the optimal time with the interest rate.
Yep. And I mean, I think that a really interesting part to look at is in 2018, interest rates started to rise. And I mean, that's fairly significant. I mean, that plays that kind of a rise, 4.54, that really changes your affordability.
Oh, yeah.
And that we felt that was the balance, like that, like really like 2017 was tense, you know, there was a similar market, like 10 offers on listings. Like last year and this year has been another level, like taking that to another level, but still very, you know, obviously very competitive. Then the interest rates rising definitely balanced it out. Not like it was a bad market. It was like pretty good market for sellers, pretty good market for buyers. So sneak peek, that's kind of probably what we're going to feel next year, end of next year.
I think it's interesting here also is the statistics of 87% of recent buyers financed their home purchase. That's a large percent. I mean, that's the majority of buyers out there. They're financing, they're not paying cash. And so I think there is a misconception out there that you're losing out to cash buyers in the multiple offer situations, but that's not necessarily the case. It's just, you know, typically it comes down to the other terms, but most people are financing. Because why wouldn't you? I mean,
I think it it depends regionally too. Like certain cities, I think are like more that, but this is more in line with what we're seeing in Portland is 87%. Like that feels more like in line with us.
Yeah.
And Hey, we know how to make our terms beat cash offers. So don't be
Yeah.
afraid of cash.
Yeah. Afraid. Don't be afraid.
So yeah, I think we covered all of them, didn't we, guys? Did we miss anything?
No.
Okay.
I think
I
so.
don't think so. It's where we're at now. We'll see where we go.
So
Yeah.
tune in next week for our predictions. We're going to take this information and then work it into what we're going to see in 2022. So tune in.
Yay.
Thank you.
Press.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, happy holidays.